This is Alex Haversham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. I am so excited about our new website, www.maconblackpages.com. So if in fact you're interested in finding an African American business by category, you go to www.maconblackpages.com and think Black Pages first.
MaconBlackPages.com.
One of the constant problems that I have found in our society is that oftentimes we don't do enough to kind of move our young people along. You know, sometimes I've seen individuals in positions who act and feel like they're going to hold those positions even after they are dead, not realizing that we need to prepare young people, you know, to kind of take over what we're doing to ensure and assure that our society continues to make progress. I'm so happy today to be involved and to be interviewing some young folk who are really enthusiastic about stepping into leadership roles and being an intricate part of our community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham, and as I said, you know, and I've been a little confused, and maybe somebody can tell me, you know, one of these fine young people, we're going to let them introduce themselves, but we're going to begin because they are what you call millennials. You know, and I hear a lot about millennials saying they are different, that they're not like they used to be. Now, let me tell you what the conflict may lie is my generation was called the silent generation. You know, and it went from there to the baby boomers and to Gen X. And so different generations have different feelings and different attitudes and different approaches. But they tell me the thing now would be the millennials. So we have three beautiful millennials with us today. And I'm very, very happy that an initiative has been established in Macon to involve millennials in what's going on. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves as they talk. And I'm going to begin with Miss Brittany, you know, who's kind of the facilitator. Well, I ain't going to tell you the name of the project. I'll let her tell you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Childs, the Administrative Coordinator for the Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority, and our initiative is Reimagine Macon-Bibb.
Reimagine Macon-Bibb. So what is that about?
Reimagine Macon-Bibb actually came from one of our retreats last year from Chairman Clifford Whitby. He was inspired by going down to Disney World and seeing, you know, Disney's a magical place. He came back and said, I want to reimagine this community. So why not involve millennials to reimagine it? So, so far we had our launch in October 27, 2016.
So it's called Reimagine Macon.
Reimagine Macon.
Yeah.
I just want I want millennials to look at Macon differently. I don't want them to go off to these up-and-coming cities. New York, California, Denver, Colorado is up-and-coming. North Carolina is up-and-coming. We want you to imagine Macon to be something big. We don't want you to go to a built city. We want you to build your own city.
And the good thing about that, Brittany, is that, you know, there are so many things on the horizon that will help to make Macon reimaginable. Mm-hmm. You know, and you would agree. You want to talk about those things, and let me say this very quickly. I'm so glad that there is an activity designed to keep our talented young people here, because I mean, Drain the Swamp is not new as it relates to young people, as it relates to all of our young people with talent losing or leaving town. Isn't that the concept?
That is the concept. Millennials tend to go somewhere, like I said, that's already built. So we want them to stay here. We want them to tell us the jobs that they want. At our launch, we had a board that says, what do you reimagine Macon for? And so they wrote what they reimagined Macon for, I reimagined it for the community, which involves children, which involves jobs, which involves just local stuff downtown and all of Macon in general.
So what happened is that you actually pulled some millennials together, surveyed them,
Right.
you know, and see, that's the mistake that has oftentimes been made by people, you know, by the silent majority and the baby boomers and other generations, assuming that they know what the younger people want. So this initiative gives the millennials an opportunity, I would think, to have input
Exactly.
into what they would want. What other kind of things did they say they wanted?
They talked about downtown. Downtown is perceived to be a scary place. We don't want it to be seen as scary. It's actually very nice. I've been to plenty of First Fridays where you're just okay. We want to reimagine the arts community. We want to reimagine. I've heard things about the parks. They want it to be more diverse. They think it's just racially motivated. We just reimagine. We're trying to reimagine it to be just everything that you can imagine.
A beautiful place to live, work, and play.
That's right.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's kind of like the concept surrounding Reimagine Macon. We got two reimaginers here with us today who are going to give their feelings on what should happen as it relates to Macon being reimagined. This is a call to action.
Call to action.
We'll be right back.
I'm Jason Lee, owner of Lee Insurance and Notary Services. I assist businesses and individuals with finding affordable insurance solutions for their auto, home, life, or business insurance. Contact me today to give me an opportunity to earn your business. My number is 478-254-9858. Lee Insurance and Notary Services. Always honest, always fair.
This is Alex Haversham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. I am so excited about our new website, www.maconblackpages.com. So if in fact you're interested in finding an African American business by category, you go to www.maconblackpages.com and think Black Pages first.
MaconBlackPages.com.
Okay, we're back talking about a very, very important initiative, project, and concept in our community that's sorely needed, because if we're going to progress and move toward the future, then we need some young blood and some young ideas. Let me prove it to you. You know, the new approach to communication is technology. Well, it's a lot of people, you know, younger than I am. You know, I'm only 50 in, you know, give or take a couple of decades. But a lot of, today, the form of communication is through technology, through texting and emails and YouTube and videos and things of that nature. So as the community changes, then we need young people in the community who can tie into those concepts to help the community grow. So we just talked with Miss Brittany, who's the facilitator, and I'll call her that, for Reimagine Macon. And it's just what it says.
Reimagine Macon big.
Which means that we are going to
Reimagine.
Yeah, we're going to reimagine Macon. So, in addition to the first millennia that we have here, Miss Brittany, then we also have two young ladies who are intricately involved in this reimagination process, Miss Tanja Kabir and Miss Balmes.
Yes.
You know, Becca.
Becca Balmes, yes.
Becca Balmes, who are a part of this process. So why don't, Tanja, you start by saying why you are involved and what you've done as it relates to that and where you would like to see it go.
Definitely. So I went to the opening event back in October, and I thought it was an amazing success. And it was great because a lot of people that I saw there were like myself. We were people who were already in the environment of this city, already making changes and going about doing what we needed to do, or what we saw fit to do in this community. I myself had been working. I have a nonprofit which I started 3 years ago, working with underrepresented youth here in Macon, Bibb. Just promote global leadership, but also international exposure. The students that are in the program, they learn about Macon, they learn about Macon's history, they learn about themselves, but they also get to see another place. They get to travel to another place. Last summer, we took 7 students to Toronto, and they had the time of their lives. You would think that, like, some of them started planning to move there. I'm like, guys, it's just Toronto. It's just Toronto. But that it
Let me interrupt you. Now, you see what can happen when we let these young people and these millennials get involved in our community? Can you imagine what would happen if more of these millennials become just as concerned about the future of our community? And I interrupted her because I'm familiar with her international project and with what she has done, you know, to give these young people exposure. And not only is Tanja and Brittany and
Becca,
thank you, they're not the only ones in our community. So we need to look at this Reimagine Macon from a serious perspective. And I know I interrupted you, but you can proceed. I think you were at Ann. So
yeah, I think it's an amazing experience for them. We're continuing this year. The students will be able to travel to Jamaica. They get their passports, and it's really just an amazing experience for them. But that's just one of the things that I've been able to be responsible for. I also work at the Tubman Museum as education coordinator, so I work to promote culture in that institution as well. And then I think one of the, reasons I was also here is I started a nonprofit, young professionals network, a young black professionals network called Urbane. And so we get together on a monthly basis, and just as young professionals, we basically each month reimagine Macon. We find ways to talk about how we can be involved in our community and how we can support one another. The purpose of the organization is to network with each other, but also to build influence. So once we know each other, we are working together to be that sort of groundwork that once those people kind of leave those positions, we know each other. We're referring each other for those positions. We know the people in the older generations, and so we're in communication with them, and whether it's jobs, opportunities, anything, we're working to network with those people and engage our community as a collective, as Urbane, the collective.
So the concept is to kind of build a base to make the transition.
Exactly.
You know, because, contrary, a lot of people don't realize that, but, you know, it's sometimes we need to appreciate what we've done as older people and then pass the torch. You know, because we want the community to become better, you know, for the citizens, for the youth, for our grandchildren and people of that nature. So I think that's a good concept of what you're doing as it relates to passing the torch. And I congratulate you on your involvement not only in Reimagine Macon, but also in the other activities in which you are involved. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
We'll be right back with Becca Balmes.
Okay.
We're back having loads of fun and imparting very, very important information as it relates to an initiative in which I strongly believe, because it deals with young people and prosperity and moving forward and the future in our community, and trying to address the fact that, you know, and I'll let you talk about it a little later, Brittany, about the very, very good path that Macon is on with the help of the Industrial Authority and your chairman, Mr. Whitby, and the board members. So you all doing a great job. I'll let you talk about how we are positioned to really move forward in the community And so we'll move on from that. Now we have Miss Becca Balmas.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Yes.
Who's going to talk about what she does, a little biographical information,
Sure.
and why are you involved in Reimagine Macon?
Absolutely. I'm an artist and a business owner. I own the Ampersand Guildhall, which is an artist-run space downtown. We were the location for the opening party and launch for the Reimagine Macon Bib project, and we were really proud to be the location for that. It's an amazing project. We've been just floored by all of the promises that are coming out from not just the Industrial Authority, but also the mayor's office and various other places in Macon Bib. I mean, this is exciting, and this is exactly why this type of initiative and this type of energy is exactly why we felt confident 6 months ago to open up this really strange business idea for Macon. It's what we do at Ampersand is we have 5,000 square feet of warehouse space. It's mostly open space. We have a coffee shop and retail space, gallery space, performance space. It's a performance venue, but it also has studios for artists, a computer lab, and our primary customer base are young or emerging millennial artists. We do have some older artists, but for the most part, our group is pretty young. We have 174 members so far, 6 months in, and it keeps growing every day. So there's a lot of artists and creatives out there. There are a lot of creative entrepreneurs. That's a big millennial thing, and we're definitely seeing them come out of the woodworks and bring in their friends. We have a lot of photographers and graphic designers. Yeah, that's a really big one. We've got computers. We have Adobe Creative Suite and other things for them to be able to access. So for us, it's a lot about resources and keeping millennials in Macon, just like Brittany was talking about. And exactly what Tanja was saying was networking. Networking is huge. That was why we established the space in the first place. I'm a millennial. I'm an artist. I came back to Macon after a lot of years in the DC area, and I came back to Macon and said, I know nobody. I don't know how to make it here. I don't know how to get into the galleries. I don't know who to talk to even. And so we started going around and talking to other millennial groups, and we were talking to Newtown Macon and to Spark Macon and to Fresh Produce Records and some of the other groups downtown, and saying, hey, how do we get started here? And they helped us get set up. And so we're trying to pass that along and do that for others as well.
So that is so awesome. So, what kind of artists do you basically deal with? Graphic artists or photographers?
It's everyone.
Painters?
It's everyone. We have everything from makeup artists to we have makeup artists and photographers and models that all gather and meet together, graphic designers, illustrators, painters. But also we have playwrights and independent filmmakers. We have musicians, several musicians. There are people who do pretty much everything in our space, including
now, what kind of activities do they do there? Man,
we've got we have gallery openings every first Friday. We have new artists that we're featuring. We also have artists on the walls at all times. We also have events, probably 2 to 3 events a week that are major, and then a couple of minor ones too. They're all artist led, so the artists decide what they want to do. It's experimental. We try to encourage artists to come in, tell us what they want to do. We give them a space, we give them opportunity, and we don't charge them money. Wow. We charge them. There's a fee to become a member of the guild, but it's nominal. It's as nominal as we can possibly make it. Because we really, really strongly believe that if you give artists and creatives an opportunity to express themselves and explore, they'll stay put. They'll become really, highly contributing members of society. They'll expand and be seen. And we've got playwrights who will have plays, in other places that debuted here. We'll have musicians that are just trying a set out for their first time, that are then then going on to get paying gigs elsewhere. So we try to give opportunities to as many people as we can.
Now, where is it located?
We're at 5th and Poplar, actually just a block behind the Tubman Museum. So where the Tubman Museum is on Cherry, we're there on Poplar. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's outstanding, and that's so good to know. And I'm sure that many of us are impressed with everything that's going on as it relates to Reimagine Macon. Now, Brittany, let me ask you this. I'm sure that we've got people trying to come through the TV, you know, or the radio. Brittany just laughing. You know, to get involved in this kind of project. So, I mean, what does one need to do in order to do that?
What one needs to do is contact me, come to the events that we have throughout the year. We're going to have 4 a series of events. The first one of this year, I'm hoping that will be next month, and it will showcase the arts. That's something that we're really hoping for. Later on, it will be innovation, entrepreneurship, small business, technology, and education.
So what I'm hearing is that, you know, this is like a resource for any millennial who wants to do something.
Right.
You know, who wants to be involved, who wants to meet people, and who wants to learn more. So that's so. Tanja, what's your next project? I mean, where else would you like to see Reimagine Macon go? And what do you think you can do, you know, to help it improve and help more people get involved?
So I guess with the first question, I think the way I see myself being more involved with Reimagine Macon is definitely by attending the different sessions that they have. And so I would like to see there be sort of a resource central, so that even when there aren't meetings per se happening, there's a place where we can go. Because as a person who is an entrepreneur and is working to do different things, one thing we need is resources. We have to have those resources to be able to do that. And so being able to have access to those things is, I think, will be the biggest thing. And so with my involvement, I definitely want to make sure that I can do everything possible to offer the resources that I have, whether it's network, any resources that I have to Reimagine Macon, and then as well just to kind of continue to share with others. Okay.
Now, is there a website yet? Is there a Reimagine Macon website?
The website is on the Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority's website, www.mbcia.com, and we have a tab, Reimagine Macon-Bibb, where you can see all the latest pictures, videos that we have.
www.mbcia.com.
Yes, sir.
And just click on Reimagine Macon. Well, what would you like, and all 3 of you can address this, what would you like to see the community do? You know, all of the other entities in Macon to support this effort. I mean, I think that, you know, if in fact some of these entities were to see, you know, the program, or were to know that you all are doing these phenomenal activities, they in fact would become involved. What would you like to see the community do? Not everybody wants to.
I think personally, I think concrete resources. As a business owner, as well as personally as an entrepreneur, I think watching people go through the steps to try to get involved and engaged, and like you were saying, you know, to try to figure out how to take that torch that may be passed off. You know, concrete resources for those people to say, okay, you know, maybe meetings with certain people in different offices or in different industries, or micro grants for them to get involved in education or to take a workshop, internships that are paid and not unpaid internships, because that's a big concern for millennials, is living wage jobs, you know, and living wage jobs, that would be a good one too.
Okay, well.
Not to ask for the moon or anything, but.
I definitely agree, though.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
So if one wanted to really find more information about, why don't we do this if you all don't mind, and if you do, I'll understand. What if somebody wanted to call and talk to one of you, and a millennial, not
Call
somebody
the millennial hotline.
not call the millennial hotline.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So should they just call you, Brittany?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm always happy for our Imaginers to tell people about Reimagine Macon Bibb. It's always nice to hear it from somebody other than the person that's running the event or running the initiative. So I don't have a problem with talking to Tanja or Becca.
Well, but I guess what I'm hearing then, maybe the best thing to do is to go to the website,
Yes, sir.
find out when the next activity is,
Yep.
and come.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
come.
Being present is really, really important to
that's
this.
very important.
Form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Well, let me congratulate you, the three of you, and let me tell you that it warms my heart because I'm a firm believer in passing the torch. I'm a firm believer in young people. I'm a firm believer in helping young people. And would you please thank the authority and its chairman, and give them my endorsement of what you all are trying to do. I better call your chairman, Clifford Whitby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And give them my endorsement of what you all are doing. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And I want you to stay positive and stay encouraged. And I want you out there to support this kind of effort because it's important to our community that all this talent stays in our community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed three young ladies who are reimagining Macon and will continue to do it. And soon, as a result of their efforts, we'll see Macon reimagined. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com.
This is Alex Habersham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. I am so excited about our new website, www.makingblackpages.com. So if in fact you're interested in finding an African American business by category, you go to www.makingblackpages.com and think Black Pages first.
Makingblackpages.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Lee, owner of Lee Insurance and Notary Services. I assist businesses and individuals with finding affordable insurance solutions for their auto, home, life, or business insurance. Contact me today to give me an opportunity to earn your business. My number is 478-254-9858. Lee Insurance and Notary Services, always honest, always fair.